I am so excited today. I get to walk the show because it's my day off from filming. So I guess I'm filming. I really need to find out what I'm gonna do with my avionics on Lola. I'm gonna take this day off to go really research that and check out what else is out at AirVenture, because I have been stuck at the booth filming in the hangar. I'm excited, so come along. Let's check out what avionics and what AirVenture has to offer. My biggest need that I've had pretty much since day one is a good autopilot. I do nothing but long cross countries in Lola. My choices are really limited because there's not that much that's STC to work with some of the glass stuff like the Aspens or the Garmins or whatever. So I need to make sure I have an autopilot that works. And that's either the Garmin 500 or 600. The Genesys STEC 3100 is a real viable option. And so I'm looking into the 3100. It might be a good fit for what I'm doing. Two choices for the 210. If I wanted to go analog, I could do the 55X. This is going to be digital, and since I do have the Aspen, I can run that. I really do like the 3100. The thing that it gives me that I've really missed is a altitude pre-select. That's really important to me. I'd really like to have that. I fly a lot of IMC, and having that help is huge in the cockpit. All right, let's check out Garmin. Any avionics search, you know, you got to include Garmin. They're the big dog in the mix, and this is Mindy, who we had on the show. So we've got an episode with Mindy coming out. So let's check out Mindy's 182 and see what she's got. Looks like with Mindy's panel, she's got the 275s. She's got an engine monitor. She's got the Garmin, whatever replaced the 430. It's that size, and I really don't know what that is, so I don't know. And then she's got the, I guess the 500 or 600, I get confused, on the autopilot. Hey! I could do like a 650. If I wanted to go bigger, it'd be the 750. But I need to go find out what that's going to cost and then compare that to like Avidyne and just see what the costs are going to be. Brant from Colton Mortgage has been doing the G3X quite a bit. I do like the aspect that you've got touch controls and all that. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing wrong with the Garmin stuff. It's great stuff. I just don't know cost-wise and everything else. I got the feeling I'm going to be spending a lot more money. Okay, here's my autopilot options, the GFC 500 or the GFC 600. They say the 600 is more for the high performance piston and turbine engine aircraft. Well, definitely Lola is high performance, or I could go with the 500, but I got a feeling, the 600, I think I have to have Garmin driving it, whereas I think the 500, if I've got my Aspen, it works. Josh's plane here again at AirVenture. Now, one thing that Josh loves is for you to eat something really greasy like pizza or messy hot dogs, like with a lot of chili, and then come in and manipulate these touch screens. Or even better, his beautiful interior, you know, use those greasy fingers. He loves that. All joking aside, Josh, sorry about that. By the time this airs, it'll be after AirVenture, so nobody can come and put the greasy fingers on your plane. But I do want to point out something that I really appreciate about Josh. He's got these really incredible shoulder harnesses. I have a shoulder harness in Lola, but I would really like to upgrade to these type, I forgot what they're called. I think it really does lower the injuries when you have incidences. So I highly recommend these. I know a lot of people won't even fly in an airplane that doesn't have shoulder harnesses. And if you have an airplane that was made before, you know, that predates the grandfathers in not having to have shoulder, it's not that much to put in shoulder harnesses. So I like that about Josh's airplane. One of my favorite companies is Level Aviation. These guys are so great. Now, of course, for the certified world, it's great backup stuff. You guys, if you followed me at all, you know I've used the bomb and I love it. I love it as backup, and it has saved me on a couple different occasions when my main AHRs went out. So it's always good to see these guys. They've got some new stuff. They've actually got some Autopilot stuff. Not certified for my 210, but if it was, I'd be absolutely looking at them. So make sure if you need something level, those guys are great. We love aviation people, the good guys, so support them. In the NavCom arena, I've been thinking that really my only two choices are Avidyne or Garmin. I just happened to stop by the Honeywell booth. It looks like there is other options that are STC'd for the Cessna 210, so let's check it out. Bendix King, made by Honeywell. They bought them decades ago. This would be the 430 replacement. They also have just a VOR comm panel as well. They've got the ADS-B. Autopilot, I don't need that, I don't think anymore. I think I've found the Autopilot I want. So it's interesting. I did not think that other than Avidyne or Garmin, I really had any other options. So it's good to see there are other options. I'll have to do some research onto this. I'm at the Aspen booth. Yes, I've been seriously considering Aspen. They've been really, I've had an Aspen, the Legacy PFD 1000, I've loved it. And, it'd be a lot easier to upgrade. So I've been talking to Aspen, and I'm actually going to go meet with the president of the company here in a bit, so stand by for that interview. I really do need new interior for Lola. The priority is avionics, but I do need to do something. So this is down the road, but let's look at it. I've got a lot of old wiring and stuff, and I'd like to have cleaner audio. If you guys have any experience with the PS engineering, I'd love to hear your comments, because I'm thinking about when I do the avionics upgrade of doing something along this line. Again, I like the idea of the little guy versus the Goliath of Garmin, but I don't know. I want to check them out, so I'm curious if you guys have experience. I even have an older version of this Garmin.
You have the 340. This
I have the
is
340.
Garmin 345.
And
this is the PMA 450C audio panel by PS Engineering.
But you got a screen.
We do. So we have a user menu screen that allows you to go in and configure the audio panel, and comes with two separate Bluetooth modules. So you can pair up your iPhone and your iPad at the same time, stream music from your phone, and ForeFlight from your iPad.
So I could actually send music off my phone to all the other people?
Absolutely.
Oh,
so
wow, that'd be huge.
You can configure it where if you want to turn music off just for the pilot, you can, but the co-pilot passengers can still listen to Bluetooth. And it's 100% plug and play to the legacy Garmin PMA 340. Yeah. So you don't have to rewire anything to receive the benefits of the audio panel.
Will this, you think, help clean up my intercom audio compared to the old Garmin 340 when I'm recording shows?
Absolutely, because our system has something called IntelliVox. It's individual mic process gating at each headset. So nobody's sharing a squelch control. There's no manual squelch adjustment on the audio panel. It senses the noise at the microphone and sets the trip level to that location. So it's going to be the quietest intercom you ever had.
This is the FAA flight surgeon group. There are people who have been trying to get their medical back for years, are able to come here, spend 20 minutes with the flight surgeon, and in some cases get their medical back in that short of a time. Wow, AirVenture, you can come and do this. I did not know. My search for avionics has led me to the Aspen Hospitality. I wanted to find out some stuff about Aspen. I'm Dan.
I'm John, how are you?
Hey, John. Do you work full-time for Aspen?
Absolutely.
Okay. No, actually, guys, I've interviewed John before. He's the head at Aspen, so let's see what he has to say.
So first of all, you're very typical of a lot of our customers. They buy the single tube and they get accustomed to using electronic instruments, and then they look for additional capabilities to add displays. So first of all, you want to make sure you upgrade to the Max platform, because the Pro Max platform provides a lot more computing power, brighter displays, newer hardware, higher reliability, and stuff like that. And that would come with your decision to add the additional tubes. That's the first thing you want to think about. But the next thing is, for an airplane like yours, you really want to take a look at what your mission is and what you're doing. If you're flying a lot of IFR, if you're flying in more complicated airspace, those kinds of things, then you want to add some tubes. Also, if you're flying heavy IFR, you'll want to have some redundancy just for, you don't have to legally necessarily have it, but for peace of mind. So a lot of our customers come in when they add additional tubes. They may add the tube that has the ARs in it. And then others will say, well, I'm okay, I may have another backup. So a lot of it is what you're looking for, so the kind of flying that you're going to do. Airplane like yours, it sounds like you're about the right time to start adding some tubes to add capability.
And I do nothing but long cross countries.
Yeah.
I'm in hard IMC a lot.
Yeah, see, that's a big deal. So the MFDs really add a lot of capability and safety for your kind of flying. Because it provides additional capabilities for situational awareness, it provides some redundancy, it provides you the ability to configure displays based on your phase of flight. So really that multi-tube system is there. Then you gotta look at whether you want to add 2 tubes, 3 tubes.
I walked into the Garmin booth. I don't think I can't get a conversation with the president over there. So it's pretty cool that I can walk into the Aspen hospitality tent and get my questions answered by the president of the company.
It's who we are, honestly. I mean, that's a big part of what we do. We try to differentiate ourselves in the ways that we can. So what we try to differentiate is our customer support, the individual relationships that we build. My staff is always out here with these shows. We like to talk to customers. That is who Aspen is, and we continue to be that way.
That is important to me, so it's going to be a huge factor.
You got the single display, so you know how this works.
I know how that
works.
Is there much difference right now between that single display in the center compared to what I have?
No. Well, you have the older hardware, so you would if you would put these side by side with yours, you would see a much brighter display.
Okay.
Because it has newer technology, a newer graphics processor, and things like that. That's the one thing you would see, and that would probably be the most visible thing you would see. Now, in the background, what you see is that it's got a faster processor, so things happen faster.
It does seem to be smoother. I'm seeing this move smoother than.
So on the older units, you might see a little bit of ratcheting if you really look closely.
I work in video, so
you would notice
I see it.
You would notice it.
Touchscreen?
Okay, so we've looked at touchscreen on these displays and got a lot of inputs from pilots, and these displays are not conducive to touchscreen. There's a big argument whether reaching a PFD through a yoke on touchscreen is good or bad. I won't get into that argument because, especially in turbulence, but people seem to like the buttons that we have.
Okay.
This size format of it is, we have got enough buttons to not confuse a pilot, but few enough buttons that it doesn't make it cumbersome where you have to go into 5 levels of menus to change your altitude select. So on the backup, so you have the PFD and you hit the reversionary button, and you've got the exact same PFD.
Okay,
so
and that's on a different AHRS.
That's on a different AHRS. They're totally independent.
Okay.
There is no crosstalk on the AHRS whatsoever. They're totally independent. And oh, by the way, it's also nice to do some cross-checking. So, you can check your speeds, you can check your altitudes just to make sure they're okay. The barrel changes do go across both of them, so you don't have to change barrel on both of them. But everything else is independent, so that's kind of nice to do.
Okay, I've heard something about angle of attack.
Sure, absolutely. So angle of attack is we have a derived angle of attack. I knew mathematically what angle of attack was, but I never really understood how to fly angle of attack. Our chief pilot was a former military pilot. He kind of trained me a little bit on angle of attack. Didn't take a lot to figure out that I actually, when I fly approaches, I peg my angle of attack at a certain place, and I know I'm going to be 1.3 VSO on a 30 degree. And that takes another thing out of it. And what's unique about our angle attack, we provide you angle attack calculations with flaps up and flaps down. And the angle of attack comes up on the display right here. We'll see it here in a second where the flaps will come up. But
so it's just right here. It's part of my.
Right here, and you can also display it in one of the windows.
Oh, okay.
So,
wow.
So, like for example, when I'm flying and when I'm landing, I always have it in a big display here.
Okay.
Because I can in my scan, I can scan between the three things. I see it here, but I also have it over here. So I get some.
And
also,
this would be huge.
yeah. Okay. So now you can see the flaps up and flaps down angle of attack. So if your flaps are down, you're right at the green yellow thing, and your flaps are up in another place, and you can see it move up and down.
If I were to do all this, what's the apples to apples with? I guess the Garmin would be the GX.
So there's a lot of different platforms in the Garmin, and so it's really hard to do an apples to apples comparison. What we recommend all of our potential customers is understand what your mission is, understand what you want, configure that in the Aspen, and then go look at what our competition has.
As a ballpark, do you think you're finding is Aspen about equal to Garmin? I mean,
in some
I know
case,
I'm squeezing an answer here.
Fair enough. I mean, it's a question that people ask us, and it's a difficult question to answer. First of all, I really respect Garmin. They do great stuff, and so do my other competitors, Avionics and others. It's one of the coolest things that's happened in our industry is competition.
Absolutely.
It's created multiple choices, and what that does is drive prices down.
And innovation up.
Yeah, good point. And so it's important for you to know, for all of you out there to know as a consumer, competition is good. And wherever you can foster competition, that drives prices down. Depending on configurations, we can be less expensive, approximately equal. It's rare that we'll be above the prices of our competition. Okay. It's rare. The dealer that you choose can affect your price in ways you don't understand.
Right.
Because if you have a person that's installed a lot of Aspens, your costs of installation are going to be lower. I guarantee you. If you go into a dealer that hasn't installed an Aspen in 3 years, your costs are going to be higher.
Right. Okay.
I know it sounds obvious, but people don't think about that. Ask the questions of your dealers. Ask our salespeople, where would you recommend I take it to?
Okay.
And of course, there's geographic considerations and all those things.
Right.
But pay attention to that part of your install.
I love the fact that John is also a pilot. I don't know if the president of Garmin is a pilot. It goes back to all the people that I've kind of partnered with throughout the years, from Flying Eyes and Dean, he's a pilot, or Colton Mortgage, he's a pilot, or Jerry Clemens at Clemens Insurance, he's a pilot. At Lightspeed, I mean, I wear Lightspeed, we're not sponsored by them, but, they all fly. I really kind of like that. With the people, and I know that you go, okay, well, let's say Garmin's better or Aspen's better or whatever. Personally, it does matter that it's a company big enough to do what I need to do, but small enough that you can talk to somebody there who can get you help right away. That's a huge factor to me. So for all those who are saying, oh, you want the Garmin, yeah, maybe, but I also want the relationship. I guess that's what I'm saying. So yeah, I'm leaning towards this. I'm going to be honest with you guys. So leave me a comment. Tell me what you think. It's been great having a day off of filming. So I was able to visit a lot of the vendors for the avionics. It's been eye-opening, so we'll see what I can do for Lola to upgrade those avionics. Thanks for watching. Don't forget our sponsors. I'll have them scrolling across the screen here. And if you ever get out to AirVenture, it's a really cool thing. I highly recommend. 5 out of 5 stars. We'll see you guys next time on Taking Off.